Have you ever looked at a foreign language and thought, wow, that looks impossible to learn? For centuries, that's exactly how Koreans felt about their own written language. But one visionary king changed everything, and in doing so, created what might be the most logical and brilliant writing system in the world. This is the story of Hangul. Let's travel back in time to 5th-10th century Korea, during the Joseon dynasty. Picture a society where only the elite, the scholars and nobles, could read and write. Why? Because Korea was using classical Chinese characters known as Hanja. Now Hanja is incredibly complex. You need to memorize thousands of individual characters, each with its own meaning and pronunciation. It was a system that took years, even decades, to master. This created a huge divide. The common people, farmers, merchants, and artisans were largely illiterate. They couldn't read official documents, they couldn't write down their own stories, and they couldn't participate fully in the governance of their own country. This communication gap was a massive barrier to progress and justice. Enter King Sejong the Great, the 4th king of the Joseon dynasty. Sejong was not your average monarch. He was a true Renaissance man, a brilliant scholar, a compassionate leader, and a forward thinker. He was deeply troubled by the plight of his people. He saw their struggles and believed that literacy was a fundamental right, not a privilege reserved for the wealthy. In his own words, he lamented that his people, when they had something to say, were often unable to express themselves. A king who truly cared, he decided to do something radical, something that would shake the very foundations of the scholarly elite. He decided to create a brand new alphabet from scratch. This was a secret project, a bold and risky move. The scholarly elite, who derived their power and status from their mastery of complex Chinese characters, were fiercely opposed to the idea. They saw a simpler script as vulgar and a threat to their privileged position. They argued it would undermine the established order and the cultural connection to China. So, King Sejong and a small, dedicated group of scholars from the Hall of Worthies worked in secret. They studied linguistics, phonetics, and even philosophy to create the perfect script for the Korean language. After years of meticulous research and development, on October 9, 1446, King Sejong the Great unveiled his creation to the world. It was a document called the Minjeongjeom, which translates to the proper sounds for the instruction of the people. This document didn't just introduce the new alphabet. It explained the science and philosophy behind it. And what an invention it was! The new alphabet, which we now call Hangul, was revolutionary. So, what makes Hangul so special? It's often called a featural alphabet, which means the shapes of the letters actually mimic the shape of your mouth and tongue when you make the sound. Let's try it. The consonant represents the sound G or K. If you say ga, you can feel the back of your tongue blocking your throat, right? The shape of the letter actually looks like the side profile of your tongue in that position. How about for the yen sound? Say na. Your tongue touches the ridge behind your upper teeth. The shape of ma mimics that, and for the sound. Say ma. Your lips form a square shape, just like the letter. It's absolutely ingenious. The vowels are just as philosophical. They are based on the 3 fundamental elements of Confucian cosmology. A dot, representing heaven, a horizontal line, for the flat earth, and a vertical line, for the standing human. All the complex vowels in Korean are just combinations of these 3 simple shapes. For example, combine heaven, the dot, and earth, the horizontal line, and you get the vowel for the O sound, as in O. It's a system so logical that it's said, a wise man can acquaint himself with them before the morning is over. A stupid man can learn them in the space of 10 days. Of course, the introduction of Hangul was not met with universal applause. The entrenched elite fought back hard. They mocked it as amjul, or women's script, because it was so easy to learn that it was quickly adopted by women and commoners who had been excluded from education. For centuries, Hanja remained the official script for government documents and scholarly work, while Hangul was the script of the people, used for novels, poetry, and personal letters. It was a tool of empowerment for the masses. The true triumph of Hangul, however, came much later. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, as Korean nationalism grew in the face of foreign intervention, Hangul became a powerful symbol of Korean identity and independence. After World War II and the liberation of Korea from Japanese colonial rule, Hangul was finally adopted as the official writing system in both North and South Korea. It was a long overdue victory for King Sejong's vision of literacy for all. Today, South Korea has one of the highest literacy rates in the world, hovering near 99%. This incredible achievement is a direct legacy of King Sejong's gift to his people over 570 years ago. Hangul is celebrated every year on October 9th, a national holiday in South Korea known as Hangul Day. It is a day to remember the king who believed in the power of his people and gave them a voice. So, the next time you see Korean writing, don't be intimidated. Remember the story behind it. It's not just a collection of lines and circles. It's a testament to a king's love for his people, a masterpiece of linguistic design, and a powerful symbol of cultural identity. It's a script designed with you, the learner, in mind. King Sejong created Hangul so that everyone could read and write, and his legacy continues to this day, making Korean one of the most accessible languages for beginners to learn to read. What an incredible piece of history! Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history and culture. Let me know in the comments what you think about Hangul, or if there are other topics you'd love to see covered. Until next time, stay curious.